The way it works is that the frequency of recalibration is really down to the customer and the client. In fact, we only can provide results, but in general terms, customers will either use a periodic basis because they know that they are using it in tough materials with tough wear effect on the gauge, or they'll put a 12-month where they're doing low volume, low batch components. So we see gauges coming in generally between about 3 months, 6 months and 12-month validation periods.
Today in the Technical Corner studio, I've got Russell, and we're going to be talking about all sorts of gauging. To start with, it's thread gauging, Russell. But before we do so, tell us about OGC.
Okay, Joe, just a little bit. So my name is Russell Hicks from Original Gauge Company. So Original Gauge Company, we've been going for 15 years. We acquired the assets of what was Coventry Gauge and Tool. Very well-known company in the industry, going back eons, especially for those old engineers. They'll all know Coventry Gauge and Tool. But yeah, we've taken the business significantly forward from those old days, both in technology, both in mindset, and delivering really what the customers want, which is rapid lead times, on gauging and gauge calibration and services.
Sure, and I know we're going to talk about calibration and other things in a minute, but if we just talk about some of these gauges, just talk us through them. And again, what makes you different to maybe some of the other manufacturers? Yeah,
so one of the key things of our business is we are a manufacturer. So that's kind of a primary factor of the business. There are only 3 gauge manufacturers left in the UK. There were clearly more, and Coventry Gauge one time was a huge company. So we've got very bespoke internal gauge manufacturing. What we've got here is, first of all, our standard gauging product, we call it. Standard gauging is more regularly used, and we stock this type of product within the business. So we have this by batch quantity. Example here, this is an M30 ring gauge. Again, this kind of item here would be generally stocked. This is what we call a conduit German PG gauge to a DIN 4031 German standard. Again, that type of gauge is there readily available in stock. All the way through to our plug gauges. So here we got a quarter 28 UNF, but we got gauging ranging from all the metric M2s all the way up to M10s. We got the MJs, and then we got kind of the 440 UNC type gauges. All of those in stock, ready to go.
In this video, obviously, we're talking about standard product, but also it's important to say on this video that if you don't have it, you'll make it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do non-standard product is very key, bespoke to us. With the standard product, what's key is you can buy standard product from distributors, from resellers. The key difference with us is really the level of quality and capability we have, and particularly our UCAS laboratory. So we've got a full UCAS laboratory. Everything that we have in standard stock is fully verified in stock with UCAS certification, accreditation, ready to go.
Sure, and lots of manufacturers will have certificate of conformities, things like that. So I guess they're saying it's right, but you're getting, it's almost third party, isn't it? Third party sign off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in your standard metric gauging, we actually acquire some of that gauging from low cost sourcing as well. But the key thing to understand is that standard gauging coming into the UK is not all correct. You get a standard certificate of all the gauges that we get in from low cost source, particularly in the metric range. We are still finding between 15 to 25% defect rate, which is pretty worrying. Now, we find all of that, we determine that, and we only put good gauging into stock.
And obviously the follow-up from that, of course, is people are making components which I presume are correct, but they might not be. And they're scrapped a batch, 2 batches, loads of batches.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, we've got, I mean, the UK today is predominantly advanced engineering companies. You know, we don't make white goods, low value product anymore. So it's all fairly high integrity stuff. I mean, for a guy in, a tool room shop, making some fixturing, tooling, yeah, these standard kind of gauges that you can buy off the shelf are fine, but not for advanced engineering applications where you really need to know. And of course, if you don't, and you use gauges that are not validating properly, yeah, you're going to have all sorts of problems. And we actually see problems between companies using fully validated, companies not using validated, components not going together. And then the cost of quality, as we all know, is phenomenal in the industry when things go wrong.
Sure, and with the gauging, of course, they need re-verifying every 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, depending on the, how often you're using these. Tell us about your calibration arm.
Yeah, so it's a very key part of our business and very significant part of our business is doing all those revalidations. We actually have gauges coming for revalidation into our laboratory from all over the globe, strangely enough, because people want to come to that trustworthy source that's got that UCAS accreditation. The way it works is that the frequency of recalibration is really down to the customer and the client. In fact, we only can provide results, but in general terms, customers will either use a periodic basis because they know that they are using it in tough materials with tough wear effect on the gauge, or they'll put a 12-month where they're doing low volume, low batch components. So we see gauges coming in generally between about 3 months, 6 months and 12-month validation periods.
Sure, again, with UCAS certification, of course. And and
100%.
how about if it's someone else's gauge, not manufactured by OGC?
Recalibration, revalidation is literally every gauge that's out there in the market. So we get to see everything that comes into the organization. And that's not just thread gauges, spline gauges, plane gauges. We've got the biggest depth and breadth of UCAS accreditation schedule of any company in the UK, any laboratory in the UK within those categories of gauges.
Well, fantastic. Thank you very much, Russell. So for the people watching at home, watching this video, how do they find out more about Original Gauge Company, OGC, and place inquiries, essentially?
Well, first of all, the website is easy to go to, website thegauge.co.uk. We're on social media. Our sales at thegauge.co.uk is easy to go to. But yeah, we're on all social media. We should be really easy to find. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. So we're on all the main platforms. But you can also give us a call as well. And we've got key technical people that are always there to support any customers.
Great, thank you for coming in. And for you watching at home, if you didn't know before, not all gauges are the same, are they? So if you're looking to make complex components verified, why not speak to OGC?